It's December of 2024. Ahead of us lies a 35-hour trip, and behind us is 10 long years. A whole decade of not seeing any of our family members. It has been an exhausting trip to put together, but also very exciting. The excitement is palpable. And so, despite the long layovers and several transit stops, we wouldn't have it any other way.
We still have about an hour and a half to
Hey guys, we're in the airport right now and I'm actually so excited.
Several months of preparation went into this trip, as you can imagine, and we thought we were sufficiently prepared for everything. And yes, we did experience some hiccups here and there, but nothing major, apart from the one thing that would eventually happen that changed the entire tone of the holiday for us. And it was the one thing that we could never have been prepared for. But before we get into all of that, I want to take you back to the very beginning to see how this trip unfolded. I promise I'm not going to bore you with this, and I'm going to make it as quick as possible. However, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with renewing an expired passport. That's exactly what I was doing here, renewing our expired Nigerian passports. And boy, oh boy, was it the process. You know, I didn't know that the process had changed to renew your expired Nigerian passport. So I went into the Nigeria High Commission Canberra's website to try to do it as we have always done it. But then they said applicants will need to fill out this form, and also you're advised not to pick a date on the website. So it is after you're done applying for the renewal of your passport through the Nigerian Immigration Service and paying for your passport that you forward a slip to the Nigerian High Commission in Canberra for them to give you a date, an appointment date. It's not like before where you go into the system and you just select an appointment date, appear in Canberra and do all of that. So it's different now. I think the Nigeria Immigration Service has become more strict on just making sure that people are linked to their national identification numbers. Okay, so for anyone who hasn't been to Nigeria in a while, I'm talking upwards of 10 years and possibly even longer. If you're someone who hasn't been to Nigeria since the BVN exercise, do you remember that? Yeah? Do you remember when banks did the recapitalization exercise, and then off of that, there was a decision for everyone to get a bank verification number, also known as the BVN? Yeah? Okay. So if you were not part of that exercise and you thought maybe you had escaped it because you were not in Nigeria at the time and you thought it didn't concern you, sorry, the chickens have come home to roost. So for anyone who hasn't been in Nigeria for that long, the very first stage of the process is to get a BVN. And how you do this is by contacting your bank in Nigeria. Even if you're a multiple account holder across different banks, you only need to do that with one of your banks. Get them to have you BVN enrolled, and then off of your bank verification number you are going to receive an NIN. Okay, so your NIN is kind of like an automatic process, and I hope to God that I am remembering this correctly. I don't remember doing anything extra to get a national identification number, and it seemed as though as soon as you get a BVN, then your NIN would be generated automatically. Okay, so these two are key for you to renew your expired passports. Now, once you have your NIN, the next stage would be something called biometric data capturing to confirm your NIN. So basically, this is where they want to make sure that you actually own the NIN. It's also a stage where you can verify whatever identifying information the system has of you. For instance, if you're female, you've gotten married in that time, and you have a married name different from your maiden name, and maybe you did your NIN enrollment under your maiden name. When you go to do your biometric data capture, it will be one opportunity for you to verify and just streamline things and just make sure that your name is appearing the same on all the systems and all of your formal documents. Very important. Otherwise, you would pay heavily to have it corrected. And then once you're done with all of that NIN business, the next stage of the process would be to apply on the Nigeria Immigration Portal to renew an expired passport. And for this, there are a few documents you would need to upload. Now, I am trying to get through this as quickly as possible. I don't want to bore you with all that information, but if you would like a separate video where I go into details about how to renew your expired passport, please let me know, because as I said earlier, the process is quite involving and I don't want to spend time talking about it here. Okay, the Nigeria Immigration Service website has decided to show me shege. It's not loading. It's so slow. You click on something, it just keeps loading for hours, for ages. So we might have to try another day. All right, we're back on track. So when you're done applying on the Nigeria Immigration Portal and you have your payment slip and your online application printed out, for us here in Australia, the next stage is to contact the Nigeria Embassy, which is located in Canberra, and ask them for an appointment date to come for your passport capture. Okay, they also have their own requirements. So requirements around the kind of documents to bring, how much you're going to be paying on that day, and the things you need to present on the day to have your passport data capturing. And that is it. But again, I just kind of glossed over the whole thing. Let me know if you want more details in a separate video. Here we go again. All right, so this is many days later. I succeeded in submitting all our details, passport photographs, all those pesky things that I was struggling with to the immigration office in Nigeria, and then make the payment, which amounted to close to 1,000 Australian dollars. I was thinking it was in USD, but you know, after the conversion and everything, it was almost $1,000. It was about 900 and something Australian. 20 years later, I am finally done. So I have all the documents here. Not an easy thing. I can't wait for all of this to be over. So I have sorted all the documents and put them in this folder, including relevant originals as well, so that they don't going to be asking us stupid questions. So, there. All done. Time to move on to doing some packing. We're on our way. We just made a breaky stop for those who are hungry to eat. They are not in the car right now. I am here by myself because I usually don't eat this early. I eat around 12 p.m. so I'm still good to go. As you can imagine, it was a chaotic
morning when we got up because we needed to hit the road as early as possible. We have an early appointment in Canberra. They gave us the 9 o'clock appointment, which I already knew we were going to be a little late for, because it would mean leaving the house around 5 a.m. And if we were going to do that, then we needed to wake up even earlier, and I didn't know how that was going to be possible given that we had a full day of work, full day of school yesterday. So I already knew that we're going to be a little late. I sent an email ahead of time just saying, listen, thank you for giving us an early appointment, but we might arrive a little late because we're driving from Sydney. So the journey is well and truly underway. This is where we are. So they've gone that way to eat. There's a cafe behind here, I guess. I don't even know what direction they went to. But yeah, I'm alone in the car.